Hey fans, welcome. It's Miami Mike live on the red carpet with Dave Schuman from NUC Football. He's the owner and president, and he's a great guy. We're going to interview him today and talk about his upcoming events, some of the plays that come through his AllStar Games, and some great turnouts. And it was a pleasure just working in the New York, New Jersey AllStar Game with you for my first event up there in the box. Thank you for the experience. I look forward to being back again. So first of all, tell us a little about yourself and what you do.
Sure. I own NUC Sports. We run football camps, showcases, combines, AllStar Games. You name it, we run it mostly for design for guys getting recruited for college. We believe that it's important for guys to get their name out there, to get in front of college coaches, to work with top-level guys that play in the NFL, coach in college, coach high school football, to help them get recruited. So we've been doing it since 2005. I played football at University of Connecticut. Been running these events for a long time. So I mean, we just love getting the kids in a great position.
Who so far of all your camps, who has been the biggest play that has come out of your camp and has gone on to college? And has anybody gone on to the NFL from your camps?
Yeah, there's over 300 guys that have gone on to the NFL. So, you know, right here, if you're local, we're doing this right here in New Jersey, and you know, Odell Beckham, Landon Collins, Bryce Petty, just to name a few guys that have come through the programs that have gone on to big things. But we've had 3 of the last 4 Heisman Trophy winners. Derrick Henry came through, played at Alabama, now obviously he's in the NFL. Marcus Mariota and Johnny Manziel. I know, you know, he's going through some things, but at one time he was a great football player.
You know what?
So,
he still may be a great football player.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. He's young. Everybody gets a second chance, you know, and hopefully he'll get a second chance as well. Those are some big names that you do out there. So, looking ahead and going forward into the future, what games do we have coming up? Do we have any AllStar Games lined up here in the next month throughout the summer?
Yeah, we have some huge events this summer. We have our 3 Kings QB Challenge, which actually this year is going to take place at the NFL Hall of Fame. They built this unbelievable complex right next to the NFL Hall of Fame, right in Canton. So we're having our 3.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, oh, it's great.
Just going there to Canton for that event.
Yeah, it's going to be unbelievable. All the kids are going to get to go that come to the 3 Kings QB Challenge. It's our national championship. So we had 5 events around the country bringing these guys together. They get to go to the NFL Hall of Fame for free. Wow. So they get to get that whole experience that weekend, and obviously
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Nonetheless, I want to gear up and start throwing the football around, you know? Okay, continue.
And so we have that the same weekend that we're having that. We have our wide receiver DB national championship and our offensive lineman versus defensive line, which is called War. That's what we call it, War.
Tense. They're the big boys. We're talking about the big boys. Will there be any players from the metropolitan area participating in this event?
Yeah, there should be. I mean, I'm not sure which guys are going right now because we just opened up registration for it. But yeah, there'll be some guys that they're coming from all over the country for that. So we have that, and then we have a big event here in the tri-state area called the Ultimate 100 Camp, which will have Michigan, UConn, Temple, some of the big name colleges that'll be there with the athletes. So, but we have 6 of those camps around the country, one in the Southeast, one in the Southwest, one in Texas, one in the Bayou down in Louisiana, one out west in California. So those are our big summer camps. And then we end the year in the summer, at the end of July, with our top prospect camp down at Texas A&M, which is a huge camp.
Probably basically the top players in the country. Like, you know, no second tier there. Everybody plans on being a starter when they head into college at that level.
Yeah, guys who actually went to that actual camp years ago. Control Brothers, who was drafted in the 5th round. Manziel went to that camp. Cole Lyerla, who was a big star out in Oregon, went to that camp. Trevin Pendleton, who was Michigan State's fullback this past year, went to that camp. So there's a multitude of guys that went to that top prospect camp that have gone on to big things, gone on to the NFL and more. So I mean, it's pretty incredible. And then we end the year. We got a nice break after that. Obviously, we have football season, which a whole bunch of things will be going on with that.
Get ready for football, everybody. I mean, this guy's getting all the fans amped up watching us live.
And we'll be one of the cool things that we do during football season. Obviously, we're not running any events because the guys are playing football, but we'll cover high school games locally in the New Jersey area. We have our own South Georgia poll where we have a guy that just analyzes all of Georgia, goes to all those games. So we cover a lot of high school games. We'll cover all the college games. We'll be covering Rutgers. We'll be covering Temple.
Temple's program is
on the rise.
trending upward. I'm telling you, I can see it.
Rise.
That coach is doing a great job there at Temple, and if he starts taking some of those Penn State and Rutgers ball kids away, watch out.
I think he is taking them.
He is. I know. What are your thoughts about Rutgers this year with the new coach and the way things are down there in New Brunswick?
Well, I think the change is probably going to be good. I mean, Chris Ash is a guy that came with coach with Urban Meyer, won a national championship. He's a young gun. He's a young guy that's got a lot of energy, and I think if he goes and gets those Jersey recruits, keeps them at home, that's always a big if in New Jersey. Like, Shiano's probably the only guy who's really been able to do that very well. But if he goes and does that, then I think the sky's the limit. Obviously, with the Big 12, it's unbelievable. Big 10, what they're able to do.
Yeah, speaking of the Big 10, we have Michigan coming to Paramus Catholic soon.
Right.
And we also have a threesome of Ohio State, Rutgers, and Temple, all going to FDU to have their college days all on the same day. What are your thoughts about this rivalry off the field now that's going on? These three schools are teaming up against Michigan, sort of like everybody teaming up against Trump. If you can't beat him, you need to team up to beat him. And I think right now what's happening with Michigan and Harbaugh taking over the summer with their summer camps across the country coming to New Jersey, the other big three decided, hey, let's do one the same day at Fairleigh Dickinson and Florham Park. What are your thoughts about this whole rivalry off the field? And I know you're attending the one, and I know which one I'm attending, so tell the fans about it.
I don't know if this will cause controversy one way or another.
That's what's okay. That's live TV.
But obviously, you'll be going to the Rutgers Ohio State one
and Temple, right?
And I'll be over at the Michigan one. And it's funny because I have coaches that I'm friends with over at Temple and over at Rutgers, but I'm very good friends with some guys over at Michigan as well. So. But I'll be there. That controversy is.
Are you torn a little bit? Like, did you make your decision right away? Okay, I'm going to Michigan. I'm going to Paramus Catholic, or Ohio State, Urban Meyer. I mean, this is a legendary day in New Jersey. People don't realize how big a day it is for the high school kids in New Jersey, in the metropolitan area, to be able to talk and listen to these great coaches. That will be in New Jersey. What dates are they and where are they all at? Tell our fans the dates and so on.
June 8th, so it's next, I think that's Wednesday, June 8th, or Thursday.
It'll be June 8th, and Michigan will be at Paramus Catholic. What time will you be arriving?
I was told to be here at 3:30.
Okay, so if you want...
So I'll be there at 3:30.
Yeah, and so if you want to see Michigan and Harbaugh and Peppers and Paramus Catholic, they'll be there doing their summer camp that day. And for the rest of the fans, we'll be at Fairleigh Dickinson on June 8th as well with Rutgers, Temple, and Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great for these kids in New Jersey. What is the response you're getting back from this big event?
Well, I think the amount of press with everything, kids are either going to one or the other. The one at Paramus Catholic I know sold out like literally in a week or two. The Ohio State, Rutgers, Temple one, I think is getting close to that. So basically they'll have 1,200 kids from the tri-state area in 2 camps. I mean, you can't find recruits there.
I'll tell you what, for some of the other coaches and some of the smaller schools out there looking for some talent, I suggest you get your recruiters and get to these camps, because eventually all these kids are not going to be able to sign with these top schools, and they're going to be looking for some schools to fall back on. So my thoughts are for these other schools around the area, Division I AA to Division II schools, they should show interest in this, and my thoughts are they're going to be there as well representing.
Well, that's why FDU Madison's hosting it at their campus, right? Because they're
it's in Florham Park. Florham Park.
They're a Division III program.
Division III,
so they'll pick up some players there. Actually, a couple kids I coached at high school when I was coaching the high school level play for Coach Surace at FDU Madison. So it's called FDU Madison on the Florham Park Madison front of the border.
There's two, and plus the basketball school is more of the FDU Madison. The football is more of the Florham Park. And you know what? I go to check out some of their games, even Division III. They're rolling 55 kids onto the sideline up there. So for the kids who are in high school now and ready to come to college, this is a big day for you on June 8th,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what the whole thing with the camps are, is that to get them in front of people, get them exposure, get them looked at. Now, I mean, the truth is, Michigan might come out of there with 1 or 2 players.
That's all they want.
Right, so that means that all the other programs that are there, they're going to have their pick of the litter of guys to choose from. Same thing with Ohio State, Rutgers, Temple. Between the 3 of them, they might find maybe 10 guys. If they got 10 guys out of it, that'd be a ton. Probably more like 4 or 5 guys. So you have another 450 kids or 500 kids that are looking for someone to look at them. And there'll be a lot of colleges there to do that as well. So
okay, so one more question for you. Who is the top recruit? The top recruit out of the state of New Jersey this year, football, coming out of this upcoming season? Who do you feel is going to get the most attention?
That's a good question. You'd actually have to ask somebody else, because down south this year, a lot of the top recruits from down South Jersey. So
a lot of talent in South Jersey.
Yeah, this year. From Paramus Catholic, Haji Lopez is an excellent player. They got a couple of guys over there from Paramus Catholic. Bergen Catholic has several guys. Don Bosco has a quarterback. Tommy DeVito, that's one of the top kids in the state. St. Peter's Prep should have a couple guys. They have Shane Simon, who's one of the top defensive backs. So there's quite a few players from North Jersey. Down in South Jersey, I think they have a couple of guys that might be rated in the top players in the state. So it remains to be seen. I believe that the guys got to prove it on the field at their senior year in order to be the top guys. So, the Giants have one of the top players in the state of New Jersey, Eli Apple. He was the #1 player in the state of New Jersey when he was there.
Tell us a little about Eli Apple.
Yeah.
You have a personal relationship with him, as well as his mom, right? You guys know each other.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about him. How is he going to be as a Giant?
You got to do your research. Good. So a little backdrop.
Thank you.
Annie Apple, actually, when we ran our AllStar game that had Johnny Manziel and Marcus Mariota in it, she did the production for us. This is back in end of 2010 of that AllStar game weekend, along with her husband Tim, so they've done a great job. Tim's been involved with us on a web level for a long time, so yeah, there's a personal relationship there. I mean, I've seen him when he came to our camps way back in 8th grade. That's how I actually met the family.
Did you think he would be an NFL player when you saw him as that 8th grader coming up? Did he have an 8th grade body, or did he have like that?
He was talented. I mean, I think he ran the 40 and 4.64 as an 8th grader.
Wow.
And he was long, just like he is now back then. But there's no way that I could have projected that far into the future to say that this kid was going to be an NFL player.
I mean, you're not Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I mean, he was good. He was very good, but it is real. That far projection is tough. But he was a very good player at the time. You can see that he was going to be definitely a Division I player. But yeah, I don't think him or his parents probably even thought that far into the future that he was going to be one day, a top 10 draft pick in the NFL.
And playing in the home state too.
Playing in home state.
Playing in his home state of New Jersey. It's fantastic.
It's incredible.
We had a viewer question. We want to know who stood out at the New York versus New Jersey game last Sunday.
Well, we know who stood
Linwood.
out. The kid who's going to Pitt.
Temple. Well, two of them.
Two of them stood out.
Linwood Crump was the punt returner who returned
from New Jersey.
Right, he returned 3 kicks for touchdowns. Only 2 of them counted because one of them was called back.
Linwood Crump. And what school is he? He's going to Pitt.
No, he's going to Temple.
He's going to Temple. Linwood Crump, and then
and then Maurice French. Right, with 2 F's, is going to Pitt. And he was playing that wide receiver position.
Yeah, he was talented. Very talented.
We'd like to see him get the ball more. They were having a hard time getting the ball, but he was incredible. Those were the 2 probably most outstanding players from that game. Even though New Jersey lost in the close game, which you announced.
It was great. It was an exciting game, and those 2 plays actually they did stand out.
They stood out.
They stood out big time. So thanks for the question, and though you can watch those guys this year in college football, they'll be getting some time with Pitt and with Temple.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right?
I mean, Linwood was a guy that was not as highly touted as a lot of other guys. But after seeing him in the New York, New Jersey game, I mean, he has just as a returner and defensive player. I mean, you could say right now that his body frame is a pro defensive back body frame. His athleticism is now he has to develop at Temple, but he's a guy that you can see right away has the tools. And Maurice French, from a speed standpoint, Offensive players a little bit tougher to project because there's a lot of guys on it, but they have the tools to possibly be a pro one day. I mean, Linwood really, I've seen him at our camps, and he was very good. But when you put him on pads, he was just he was a whole different person.
Okay, and then what about last year's top recruit, the big offensive lineman out of New Jersey?
Rashad Gary, yeah.
Now, what school did where was he attending this year?
He's going to Michigan.
And figures, another Jersey guy heading to Michigan, this Harbaugh gets them all. Now, is he a projected starter going in this year to Michigan as a true freshman?
I don't know if he's right now a projected starter, but they're probably going to work him in right away. He's not a guy that you're going to leave on the bench. You're going to try and work him in, and I would guess that if he's better than the guys in front of him, that he'll be a starter fairly quickly. That transition could be a little bit difficult, but physically, I mean, there's very few. I saw him, Rashawn Gary came to our camp in 8th grade, and he was at the time, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4", and
as an 8th grader.
8th grader, and he
playing for Michigan this year, incoming freshman, true freshman.
Yes, and he weighed in at 300 pounds, and he ran the 40, and we had him run at another time because we were so surprised by he ran 5.0 in the 40-yard dash as an 8th grader at 300 pounds. So you knew he was going to be pretty special.
He's going to be in the big show someday as well.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? He went to Paramus Catholic. Before him was Jabrill Peppers.
Right, and
so
getting to Jabrill Peppers, let me ask you this. It tells me a little bit about the person that Jabrill Peppers is. After struggling his freshman year, changing coaches,
right,
and sticking around with
changing
Michigan, positions. I mean, it really tells. I mean, he's really a stand-up player, and by him sticking around and staying with Harbaugh, I think he's reaping the rewards now, playing offense, defense, punt return.
Right.
It's showing his really true talents, and I see him. I think this is his last year at Michigan.
Yeah, I would guess this is his last year.
Do you agree on that?
I agree 100%. I'd be really surprised. I mean, God forbid, hopefully no injuries or anything like that. But
and he was injured his freshman year. He struggled his freshman year at Michigan. The team wasn't successful. He was the top recruit. He was hurt. He was playing defense, not offense.
He's a great athlete. I mean, he's a guy that you can do anything with him. Sometimes when someone's such a good athlete and there's so many possibilities, you struggle if you put him where you need him, not necessarily what his best position is, and eventually they worked around to find what's best for him.
Well, you know who did that? Harbaugh by coming in.
Yeah.
He said, "Son, you're two-way talented. You're going both ways here. This is college, ain't the NFL." I'm really I'm proud of Peppers for the person that he's turned out to be after his tough freshman year. A lot of people could fold at that point.
Right.
But he got stronger and better,
He's a competitor. I mean, the kid was the state 100-meter champion, in track and field in New Jersey. So he's got all kinds of athleticism. He's a guy that just likes to compete. Someone like him, a big-time recruit like he was in high school, he didn't have to go run track. He didn't have to do anything, right? But he goes and does it because he likes to compete. Yeah. That's the kind of competitor he is, an athlete he is. And
he's a winner. He's a winner, right?
And he's a leader. He's a leader,
He
too.
made his announcement when he was here at Miami Mike's that day. We had
That's right.
We had all the all-star players here where they were going to announce their colleges, and today he announced he was here at Miami Mike's with all the media. It was a great day, and as of today, I'll never forget that day. And he's a stand-up guy, and so are you. It's a pleasure spending some time here at Miami Mike's. This is David Schuman. This is Miami Mike coming to you live from Miami Mike Sports on the red carpet. Oh, baby, game on.